Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to NFT Live on the Web3 Network. A new week. Sorry we missed you guys yesterday. There was no show, but we're here today. Tuesday, March 12, 2024. Sitting in the middle, or probably, hopefully the beginning. God, I hope it's not the middle of the bull. The beginning of the bull market. You guys are having yourselves a good time. Hopefully your wallet is looking okay and that portfolio is sitting pretty. I'm sitting here with some awesome individuals, DP, Biggie Poppins, and Gift Dead. I'm not going to say the nickname. I'm Nifty Q, and we're going to have ourselves a great episode here of NFT Live. If you're watching us YouTube live, if you're here early, appreciate you. If you're here afterwards, we appreciate you all the same. Also, if you're watching over on X, y'all are dope as well. Let's get this started.
Nifty Q does not choose rich. He doesn't. You just heard it.
Oh, God.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying. I know I put it on the thumbnail, but I'm not saying it. Here we go. Here goes the comments. The comments are just getting after it too. All right, DP, what's up, brother? How was your weekend?
Man, it was pretty good, man. I just relaxed. You know, I'm blessed to be here today. Happy to be here with the fam, and rocking my silk bandana. You know what I'm saying? Man, here we're real relaxed right now, and just ready to get to it. It's been a lot going on in the space. We hitting new all-time highs. We hitting price discovery all over the place. I'm excited.
What do you spend? First of all, I see you trying to make the bandana thing, and I appreciate it. DP,
Yeah.
what are you like tracking on? Like say the last 72 hours since I saw you last here on NFT Live on Friday. What takes up a majority of your time? Are you looking at kind of the macro stuff on Bitcoin and just saying, hey, like I'm just keeping it, or like where are you spending your time?
Nah. Bitcoin is going to do what it's going to do, right? I'm loosely paying attention to Bitcoin. I mean, it's doing everything I expect for it to do, even though the timeline is happening a little faster than I thought. I think that we aren't at any risk of euphoria right now. I think we have a long way to go with Bitcoin. So that's neither here nor there. What I am tracking is I'm looking at some of the outflows into some of these altcoins. Of course, you can't deny meme season, right? So I'm looking at all of the stuff that's popping off on Solana, but also I was glad to see that one of my favorite projects actually started running up a lot yesterday. Rune did his thing. Thorchain, so it looks like some of the momentum is coming back into the more big brain projects. I want to see if that's going to be a trend throughout the rest of the year.
Bring back scorecards.
1 month chart here on Thorchain. March 6th, so start of the month, basically sitting at $5, doubled up in about a week's time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Biggie Poppins, still with the Dune background. I'm sure you're on your fifth time watching it by now. How are you doing, sir? How was your weekend?
Four in 1 week. So now I'm taking a break. I'm gonna wait, but before it goes away, I will watch it at least one more time.
Lord, man.
I didn't have the chance to change it, but I mean, I do like it. Shai Hulud. It's been going good, dude. Just trying to stay abreast and everything. I continue to dive into the AI narrative, looking for an AI narrative plays, AI tokens, AI tech. There's so much going on there. Don't sleep on it, folks. I do think that is going to be, it already is, but I still think most people haven't even begun to understand how massive that opportunity is going to be. I know people look at Tau and they're like, God damn it, I missed it. It's at $600. It's nothing. I think it's really early, and there's a really cool stuff being built out. Again, you have to understand it at least a little bit before you really start deploying. That's where I'm at right now, but I'll be able to talk about it a little more later on. It's really good narrative.
We actually had a really great conversation on Say What as well about kind of just growing out the ecosystem. I know a ton. I think I don't want those combos to feel like they are like going down a negative route. You know what I mean? Like it's just we're a growing ecosystem. Like we have to talk about this stuff. I think we're doing all the right things from a community standpoint. But it definitely felt like it.
Right? Like you had Joey talking about like Remo, and like he seemed to be like a little bit more of a pessimistic view, And
Of meme
then
coins,
you had
yeah.
Base Buddha come in and completely the opposite, right? And it's not to say one was right and one was wrong. They were both right, in my opinion. It's just like the doldrums that we're going through in that space, right? And like doldrums in quotation marks, because you and I, Q, are quite happy that there is a meme coin ecosystem sprouting over on Say. And I think it's not all negative. It's just that if you are a founder right now and you're, raising for your project, it's not the best time, right? But
Yeah.
I think, when you have somebody like Base Buddha come up and address and see his take on how he's seeing the eco and like the long-term vision that he has for his project, I'm not worried, like, it's like, yeah, this is part of the game, bad timing, but you still have a lot of people there that are, I don't know, like, find me another L2 that has that type of engagement and activity. There's very few, in my opinion. I mean, I would put Say up right up against Blast and Base and all these other that are like having that activity. There's only a handful.
Yeah, it's sitting, I believe, like I'm following the graphics again. Crypto Slam, which obviously, like, Hoot is not going to be here today, but we're big friends of the Crypto Slam network and everything they're doing. But you can see, like, okay, so sales USD volume, right? Say is hovering around this $200,000 mark, which puts it below Flow on the 24-hour mark, above Blast, above some others. I don't think they have. I don't think they have the others here, like Card. Okay, so Cardano is 465. So we're hovering like each day around 200,000, and I think that's what they don't have Base yet. Base is sitting at like 50K, and so yeah, I think that's a good comparison when you're talking about like comparable size chains and how long they've been around. Biggie poppin'. So yeah, some big stuff happening across the ecosystem. Yeah, Ethereum on that chart that I just showed at 21 million, so 21.8. It feels like a lot of that is sellers, to be fair. Obviously, there's on the other side of a sell is a buy. Don't get me wrong. But we're trending in the wrong direction on the floor prices, but the volume is tops in the space, almost doubling up Bitcoin. That's a little bit of a change, right, from what we saw over the past month or two, where Bitcoin ordinals were the predominant piece there. We do have a question in chat that's going to be part of our discussion today. That was the thumbnail over here on YouTube as well, around Nick. Is Nick dead? So we're getting a pullback here, a slight pullback, if you will, on this meme coin trajectory of the token associated with the individual. Do you even want to say the individual? It's like a movement at this point of what's happening over here on X. I'm sure Marty McFly is just gagging in his sleep over this. I know Swerve was upset here about all of the coverage that Nick is getting here. Also, he was on Barstool Sports. We'll kind of get into that here in a second. That's a big moment for the industry when we can be talking to the prez about things that happen in our neck of the woods. Usually he's just kind of talking on stocks and Bitcoin and some other high level altcoins. But what's up?
Meme coins are one of those few things, like in the last run, there was very few things that transcended Web3 culture into like broader pop culture. Bored Apes was one of those things. CryptoPunks, Bored Apes, maybe Axie Infinity got some mentions, but like other than that, how many things out of Web3 actually transcended beyond Web3? Not a lot. When you have something like an FTX go down, that transcends, of course, those big negative stories. But there's very, very little that actually makes its way out into the broader public. And recently, the thing that has is meme coins. We've seen Bloomberg picking up and writing about meme coins. We've now got Barstool Sports commenting and like covering meme coins, like Nick, like new meme coins that are just popping up out of nowhere. So this kind of, to bring it full circle, to say in that conversation, points to why meme coins are important for an ecosystem, because they are a big part of crypto culture right now. It's a big part of the larger movement. of how do you get awareness? How do you attract liquidity? How do you onboard new people into your ecosystem? You have to have very simple, accessible, cultural touch points that people can share, that they can rally around, that they can feel like they're in on the fucking joke and speculate around without having to go read a fucking 10-page white paper. And dumb fucking memes are exactly what that is. They're funny, they're stupid, I'm in on the joke.
Yeah.
And like I can share this with my friends and maybe it fucking gets me 100x.
Yeah. Look, I'm playing all of these, by the way. So disclaimer before I say that.
Oh, you are?
This, well, not all of them. One can't play all of them. But
one cannot simply play all of the shit going on.
Look, like we've been having this convo for a month now since meme coins really have taken off on definitely on the alt chains, but here on even like some of the bigger ones.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously through these discussions, we're formulating kind of how our thoughts on it. But it feels like a gigantic step back. The more we talk about it, it felt like we were kind of moving in a direction of like, hey, we're actually doing things with a lot of this stuff. And right now it feels like a gigantic step backwards to be like, yeah, you don't really need anything. It doesn't matter. Like I was like, oh, like, yeah, this is fun. And I'm still playing it. Don't fade this stuff, right? Like it is PvP. You get chopped up a bunch. I've had some pretty heavy like losses on some of these. And, I've had some pretty heavy wins. So it's definitely PvP, but it feels like a gigantic step backward in the case of like, what are we spending our money on? I think the NFTs were kind of a step forward. A lot of them were rugs and didn't do shit, but some of them actually were trying to actually build out something. So feels like a little bit of a step back. But I'm sure there's cool stuff that'll pop out of this. Bonk has been doing more stuff that I would think, and Doge has been used for payments and pieces like this. So there are things associated, but from like a legitimate like team and product and all this stuff, big step back.
They're a marketing thing. They're a marketing. To me, they're more of a marketing thing than anything. Bonk is a good example of this because again, Solana used
marketing what?
Your ecosystem, your culture, the value of the culture and the community, the shared values of your culture and community.
There's not really any though. Like if the floor price goes negative 70%, the community's gone. You know what I mean?
Solana phones sold out like 20 or was it 100,000 of their next generation?
No? That's because Solana has a product.
Well, they did it in anticipation that they would get some bump coins.
Exactly. What I'm saying is that the meme coin airdrops are the marketing for the real products because they show the shared value within your culture and that like there's actual shit there that like could get you something else and that you could participate in this fucking wave that everybody else is riding. Like I feel like this conversation is mid-curving it. That's how I feel.
No. I'm having two combos. I'm not mid-curving it on the buying front. I just think it's a step back in the product because when you're marketing something that doesn't have a product, like you mentioned the Solana phone in Bonk, there's an actual product there that now the tokens are actually marketing that somebody can point to. With a lot of these meme coins, it's like I'm airdropping tokens so that maybe you can get into my community. And oh, by the way, nothing's there. We don't really have any plans on doing anything substantial. And this is culture and vibes.
Welcome. We're just waiting to dump on you.
I'm still gonna buy that fucking token, by the way. But go ahead, DP.
Nah, man. I'm trying to decide whether I want to say this or not.
Say it.
So it's always interesting, right? When every wave, you see a new wave of influencers start to come into the market, right? And so we had influencers around 2017, 2018, 2019 that were pitching like these projects with almost these otherworldly type of utilities that they were going to bring to the market, and it was going to be a whole new internet, and it was all about utility. Boom. And that was that bull run, that bull cycle. Last bull cycle, you had, you still had influencers that were pitching like the alpha projects, projects that were building and that were supposed to be releasing things. But then I started noticing, like, after this last bull run, the guys that were big, and I won't call any names per se, they've kind of like moved out of the way, and it was gone. Like the guys, the people that are influencers, they pretty much live on X, right? And it's a much younger and way more DJing type of influencer now that's kind of like pushing, I guess, Web3 culture forward. And there is just degenerate as fuck. They don't give a shit. They don't care nothing about. I get in an argument. I have a very good friend that's a part of like all of these quote unquote cabals. He does not give a shit. He has no respect for any project with any utility. Matter of fact, he prefers that the project has no utility. All they want to do, we got these fucking gamblers. We got these kids coming over that's probably gonna, if they were in Vegas, they would probably be, fucking living in these hotels. They'd be comped like a motherfucker because all they want to do is gamble on shit. That's all they want to do. And we are now in the what I call the ANC phase of the market. You know what ANC stands for? Adderall and cocaine. So
yeah.
You got a lot of these kids. Go ahead.
I would agree with the median age of the market has gone down in that time. I agree with you.
Well, and a big part of that is Solana. Like Solana deserves credit for being a big part of like onboarding that next wave, because everybody saw like, they felt like they're too late to ETH. They already missed the Bored Apes and all the things there. Solana's cheaper. I don't have to pay gas, and it's this new thing that I can be part of building the culture there. So Solana deserves a lot of credit for sort of, being part of that next wave, and why, again, I'm still very bullish that this wave, Solana will have its sort of Ethereum moment. But I just think that we have to understand and acknowledge, and I think we do. I think I'm preaching to the choir for the most part here, but like so many people in the space are here specifically because the lifestyle is that. It's like, I'm gonna farm, get free airdrops, fucking play meme coins, play shit coins, just try and fucking get rich off of doing nothing other than fucking gambling and speculating. And like, that's it. I don't fucking care about your utility. I don't care about your roadmap. I don't give a shit about your product. When airdrop, when token, when am I fucking getting my bag? And what's the next fucking thing that we're pumping? Like, that's
gonna do it all while making genital jokes.
Yeah, just like accept that like there's a whole part of Web3 culture that is that's
Gifted
what it is.
Finally, like fully wrapped in the dark side. He's been hanging out with us long enough to understand. Yes.
I'm not saying that's me.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that that's me. I'm saying that like I at least like can acknowledge and understand that a big part of the space is just that. They don't fucking care about art. They don't care about any of that shit.
That's
all
what
they
I'm
give
saying.
a fuck about
They
is
will call you. I'm sorry, Gil, but they will call you a boomer. Listen. I felt some type of way because I'm like, what the fuck you mean? I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, I've been around, but look, man, I'm old news when they don't want to hear that utility shit and that big brain. And this is actually about to bring change to the
what consensus mechanism is not DP?
They don't. I think we're still right in the grand scheme of things, right? I think we'll be the one, like we're like the Warren Buffetts of the market. But the thing is, like, who the fuck wants to wait till they're 70 to be rich now? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's the choose rich consensus mechanism. The consensus mechanism is did you choose rich?
Don't start there. Don't start that. So I can't have this term have any legs past this episode.
It already does, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, what are you gonna do? Try and fight the fact, bro? I went to CoinMarketCap this morning and clicked on the ApeCoin page, and the first thing I see on fucking ApeCoin CoinMarketCap is his fucking face, bro. This is a thing.
Why?
You're not gonna fight. Because people are posting it on Ape, like it's everywhere. His face is a meme. You can't fight it, bro.
You're that ugly. It's
ugly.
Yeah,
face sure. Meme, yeah.
You it's so recognizable, bro.
Yeah.
Like what? Like you're really gonna try and fight that? It's a thing, dude.
I'm just wondering how it ends up. So like there was a Twitter feed that was ApeCoin related that showed his face on CoinMarketCap. Is that what happened?
On CoinMarketCap, they have like the community feed on every single coin.
Okay.
And the first thing on ApeCoin when you go there is people posting his fucking face. That's all. And I didn't expect to see it there. It's everywhere, is what I'm saying, bro.
Dubious says dubious NFT lovers saying the more we fight it, the more the legs
Exactly.
grow.
That's what I'm saying. The nose is getting bigger.
Nick Sort, the nose is getting bigger. I love that. Young kids out here making money streaming by hitting their Cybertruck with baseball bats. Web3 dreams to collect ridiculous animal JPEGs and get Lambo'd out.
Speaking of which, I've heard that, and I won't name any names. And I think I told you this was a you gift. I think I told there is supposed to be some content coming where the crypto lifestyle is being shown off. And the crypto life, I always thought the crypto lifestyle was motherfuckers sitting at the computer studying. What I'm hearing now, the crypto lifestyle is getting Lambo'd out, partying, hitting lines.
Why is that? That's what it's always been.
It's always been that, but like we're gonna start
to aspiration, but it's not the reality. It's a very small subset of everybody out there that gets to do that or is actually able to cash out. The thing that you need to always
the biggest swath of retail we've ever had at the start of a bull market. This is the biggest swath of retail that has ever existed at the start of this. This is why it's so heavy, so quick. Go ahead, Biggie.
Yeah, I mean, I like you, Q. I have a small amount where I'm playing these things, and so far, right? It's a lot of fun. But I'm just always very cautious when it comes to that particular sector because it's very easy to get caught up in the euphoria and this is the people's coin, what have you. I think the majority of the people that are playing these musical chair games, we know how that story ends. A very small amount of people get to exit there unscathed and with that wealth intact. The majority of it will lose it, even if they cash out from this one and go on to the next one, right? Like it's a marathon, not a sprint. And I honestly go back and think about some of the boomers you're talking about, DP, right? That have been playing it more safely, what have you. And one of the things that comes back all the time is like, think about if you've been here for several cycles, I'm sure we've round trip bags, we've gotten rugged, what have you, right? But if you would have just sat on your ETH or your BTC and, not try to time the top, but maybe DC8 out while you're at like what you might consider a euphoric phase, say you did 2 or 3x, maybe 5x, right? Like per cycle. If this is your third cycle, compound that out, you'd be pretty set for retirement, right? So, and in what I would consider to be a pretty safe and predictable manner, right? Just using the rainbow chart for BTC, what have you, I think there's a long drawn out process, but it's predictable and it's safe. And then you have the degen route. And the degen route, don't get me wrong, it's fun. It's a lot of conversation, a lot of laughs, but there's a lot of tears behind that too. And this time around, I feel like it's bigger than ever. I think just the fact that we're in the midst of a meme coin season. Bitcoin is at 70K. We haven't even gotten to April for tax season. We haven't even gotten to the halving or post-halving. It's crazy. And so just, I would always say, it's like, I'm not saying don't do these things. Don't be a degen. We all are to a certain degree. It's just tread lightly. Like if you miss something, again, like we talked about before, it's like, it's okay to miss. Like don't chase these pumps. Like if you got into Rich or Nick early, by all means, man, enjoy the ride. Maybe DCA out when you feel like it's time to at least cover your principal. I don't know. This is not financial advice, but just I would urge some level of caution now and then because it's very easy to get caught up in these narratives and this hype.
Okay, Boomer. No, you're right. Like Biggie's right. A couple different things here. First of all, in our private Discord now, our private Web3 Discord, I was calling Nick at 3 million. So just know I was calling this at 3 million in our private Web3 Discord.
Do not get at
that's like 12x.
Hold on.
12, 15x.
So the other thing, a couple things here. The other thing is that Biggie's right Like these things come and go very, very quickly. They go as fast as they come. There's probably going to be a correction, especially around the halving. I'm expecting that there's going to be a big sell the news event around the halving. This meme coin season could come to a very abrupt stop in the next couple weeks. Just be very, very careful about what you're fucking playing right now. So I agree with all that. All of that said, shout out Nick Swervis, who's hanging out with us in the comments, because when he came to LA recently, I went and hung out with him. And one of the things that we chatted up about was what I call Elon's razor, which is Elon's take on Occam's razor. And the reason why I like this so much is because it acknowledges
I can
the
just
reality.
see Swerve's face as Gifted is breaking down Elon's razor. But go ahead.
Dude, no, he fucking he gets this shit, right? The thing is, it acknowledges the reality that we live in is an attention economy. And I think what all these young fucking kids are doing right now is they are leaning in to the fact that, like, nothing else matters. If you can aggregate enough attention around something, fuck your utility. This is not a utility economy. It's an attention economy. And like, this is get rich or die trying through fucking like any means necessary. I'm not going to have a real job. The only thing that anybody does anymore that is be a fucking social media person and make content. There's no real fucking jobs. AI is coming for everything. Figure out how to get attention and aggregate attention and make some fucking money when the going's good, you know, because there's nothing else. So Elon's razor is basically that the most likely outcome is the most ironic or ridiculous or, you know, unexpected outcome, right? Because Occam's razor is the simplest outcome is the most likely outcome. Elon talks about it's now like the most ridiculous, ironic thing is probably going to be the most expected outcome. And why is that? It's because everything is optimized for attention.
You know, I don't see it as and this I'm gonna make this last point.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily I see it the way I see both sides, right? So I kind of feel like, you know, I love my analogies. I kind of feel it, to me, it puts me in a mind state of us liking like old Snoop Dogg and shit like that and going patronizing that type of music and looking at the young kids like, well, I don't know what the fuck y'all like this is trash. But at the same time, it's making a bunch of money. But at the same time, you still got classic artists that are making a lot of money as well. So
I have to put a hold on this conversation, guys, because we are at the literal forefront of this industry. Like, meme coins are the only time in the past, the whole time that I've been in crypto, where I've ever felt like y'all are making me try to be a boomer. Because literally for the last month, we've been on top of like, I'm not saying we called everything right. We haven't. You know, nobody can call everything right, but we've been calling certain trends before they've happened. And now you're telling me that I'm a boomer. It's like, well, I get where y'all are going with it, but I just want to add the disclaimer that we're not fucking boomers.
But here's the thing, Q. I'm not calling you a boomer, because if I'm calling you a boomer, I'm calling me a boomer. I don't feel like I'm a boomer. What I'm saying is the kids in the space now are calling us boomers. Like, we are the utility crowd, the people that are here, that are here for the tech and the games. We are boomers to them.
Level-headed.
That's what I'm saying. I don't.
But the majority of them are gonna get wrecked. Like, that's the thing. And then they'll come back and then they'll look at it like we do. So that's the thing, is that like the vast majority of the young people that are speckling like crazy on every single shit coin are gonna get wrecked, but there's gonna be some that become
I tried to make this analogy. Go ahead, Biggie. You go first.
No, you go first.
I tried to make this analogy on Say What, but I didn't want to go down the rabbit hole because we were already so far and we were ending the episode. But RuneScape works like this. Most of the game is PvE. Most of the game, you play against somebody, you play against a computer, you co-op with somebody, you do all that stuff. There's this couple areas, though. They call it the wilderness, where you can actually just snake everybody. Like, you can, so what would take you days and weeks to farm, you could just pull off the dead body of somebody. But the problem is, in that environment, you could be the one that gets killed and lose everything and end up at the beginning too. And so this wilderness example is exactly what this PvP is. This is exactly what this environment is. You can go and play, like Biggie just said, if you just sat on your fucking hands from cycle to cycle, played, you didn't even have to catch the tippy top or the bottom on these. But if you just played ETH the whole time, you would be playing RuneScape just out there farming. You know, you could eventually get to the level 60 and be all kitted out, all that stuff.
Contract risk, no nothing.
Or you could be on level 5 minutes into the game and get lucky because somebody just died and you picked up their rune armor. And like,
or
this
you
is
can choose rich.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. That's what dude, the wilderness was crazy. It was like so much energy as a 12-year-old being like, I cried. I cried when I lost, because you end up spawning. You lose everything. This is a great fucking analogy to crypto. You lose everything and you spawn back at the beginning. Same level, like you don't start back at level 1, but you lose everything that was on your person. That sounds like a meme coin. You know what I mean?
See little Q crying over video games.
Dude, I'm telling you.
But look, take some solace in this though, Q, of being called a boomer. When we were kids and when we were college kids and we thought we knew everything about the fucking world, and our parents and people that were older than us told us that we didn't know shit, and we rejected it, and we went out and did what we wanted to do anyway, we ended up bumping our heads. And in the end, the boomers were the people that were right all along. Where it's like, look, I've seen this. I've been where you've been. I've seen this. It might not be the exact same, but it rhymes a whole lot. And so, you know, you just have to let people do what they do. We all know where this meme season ends ultimately, but you know, listen, if we want to make some quick cash, the children over there or the younger people to the space are they doing it on meme tokens. If you want the long lasting products, they're still out there for you.
All right, real quick, shout out to those of you that are on YouTube and commenting. I'm going to give you guys a quick shout out. Also over there on X, we're almost crossing 300 viewers right now, so that's a fun time. Appreciate y'all showing up. Easy. They must have pulled some type of lever or something. They must have like unhid our account or something over the past week, because I think Elon flipped a switch there.
They're pushing video on X more. Like we've been saying, it's going to be a priority. They want to compete with TikTok.
So OVOT from Easy and Crypto saying sliding in a bit late today, but hope we're all good. Nick is saying we are the effing boomers now. Dubious saying it makes me want to play RuneScape again. And Justin Casey coming through. SMHQ cried, chose poor.
Yep.
So Biggie Poppins, I know I hopped in front of you with the RuneScape piece, but what's up?
No, that was great, man. I'm to me, like, the more, I don't want to call it concerning, like, it's very clear, right? Like the crypto's calling card, right? For everybody. Since Bitcoin was the only game in town back in the day, right? Was watching these crazy god candles just go up and create millionaires out of thin air. You know how they say green candles create new religions. I definitely think that's the case. My problem here is that as we go into this cycle, like I don't know what to expect. You know, compared to other cycles, previous cycles, it's not like you'd master every single one, right? But this one in particular feels different. And I know we're not for that phrase, we hear it often, and it's never the case. But I do wonder, you know, what you're talking about, Gif, about like having people come over and, you know, seeking generational wealth, but then sticking around for the community, the lulls, because you found something that you like, right? Like, I think that's very important. Like, that's definitely what kept me in the space, right? Like joining the community, like Proof, learning the ins and outs of like the possibilities of generative art, and like really geeking out on that. Like, and to other people, it might have been like a gaming protocol or community that they might have joined. That's what I hope that the majority of the people coming into the space eventually stumble upon, like something that actually gives them some form of joy or connection or value beyond the monetary. Because if not, I feel like every time this happens, all we're doing is creating the worst marketing for crypto that there is out there, because the majority of the people that come into the space looking for generational wealth and buying all these fucking shit coins, it might be wee for a moment, but afterwards they leave in tears. And when people ask them like what their experience was in crypto, or hey man, I'm looking at this or this, or it leaves a sour taste in the mouth. And I know for a fact, because I've met several people that were in this space and quit it, like straight up, like I don't ever want to have anything to do with this ever again. And it's sad, because you see this other side where it's like you could have played it this other way and it might have been very rewarding for you. You might have made some real great relationships, but you chose this other side, and now somehow you've become the the worst advertising that crypto could have out there. And I think we are fabricating these types of people, this horrible word of mouth at a fucking rapid clip. And what's going to happen is that eventually it will turn on us, right? And like that's the only thing that people will be able to point to, and having these more educated conversations of what the actual benefits and utility is from some of this technology is just going to fall by the wayside for most people. It already does to a degree, but again, it is a part of, for me, that is a little worrisome. The more these things keep
Mike,
popping
I see your comment, Mike. Gifted, hop in here.
Well, look, that's why we do what we do, which is try and provide actual substance in the space and a trusted place to come. But we still have to cover what's happening, and that shit's going to be there anyway. You know, like I agree, we don't want to like spend all of our time and energy on it, and we don't want to pretend like it's something that it's not, which is high risk, high reward gambling that's going to come and go, and a lot of people getting wrecked, like we've been saying. But also, I don't want to sit up here being the preachy boomers either. You know what I mean? Like it's just part of just part of the culture. Yeah. And I also have to say, Biggie, it's really fucking with me that it looks like your head's about to get sucked into a giant butthole. Like it's really messing with me
for next time.
Quite a lot.
Okay. Mike's bringing us back on track here. We've definitely had a rabbit hole conversation on kind of the state of where we're at. I think it's a relevant time to be doing that. It's not like full on meme coin season right now. I think there are a lot of memes pulled back.
We got more.
No, Base has pulled back. A couple others have pulled back. I know like Dog with Hat is probably the front runner when it comes to like looking at how this space is looking at meme coins. So this has been the front runner. So it's below $2. It has pulled back here, kind of based on the 7 days as you see here. So I think it's a healthy time to be looking around. I think the longer this goes, you know, I guess people go in two different directions here. You could say, hey, look, we're consolidating and then we're going to run up. You know, it's a bull market. Or you can say, I mean, these are on shaky legs. There's nothing behind this stuff. And there's always new ones launching. So the longer something bases and doesn't go up, it could signify trouble.
Most meme coins are going to come and go. The vast majority, we already know this, but there's going to be the few that get established and transcend into being part of the culture and become the next Doge, the next Sheeb. The one last thing that I wanted to say on that,
you gotta be real quick.
We're having, is that like Biggie was saying, this is why the best alpha that's ever been said in the space is to only buy into projects that you really like and that like you're okay holding no matter what. Because when price goes down and the vibes leave, you become a bag holder and a community member. Bag holders are community members, so you better like what's in that community because you're going to be in it for a while.
I'm glad you brought that up because we can touch on what's happening with Bored Ape Yacht Club right now. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I think again we've been talking about Ethereum NFTs continuously getting wrecked here, and that continues to be the case. We saw CyberKongs flip them, and now Pudgy Penguins have also flipped them, and it's not in a positive light. It's not like Pudgies are flying or CyberKongs are really flying, although CyberKongs are up, from like, I think a low of like 7 ETH or something like that to about 15 over the past year. So they're on the up and up. Pudgy's consistently down, but Bored Ape down worse. And a lot of it has to do potentially with blur farming. Yep, exactly. Hey, I'll cap this discussion off. Actually, we can jump back into Nick because we really haven't touched on it. But it definitely has bounced. Like if you're playing this on a very fast time frame, this is a 5-minute chart. So you can see it has bounced and it looks like it's potentially heading back up. But you never know. This thing could fucking bottom out at any moment. But I just want to get you guys the update there. All right, we had a question here from Mike Erlinson twice. Okay. Let me go back to his initial. I'm late, and I don't know if you covered, but apes are flapped. And then he's also asking, I want to know the NFT alpha. These prices are juicy. So, Gif, before we jump into NFTs and all that stuff, can you? We're midway through the episode, but can you hit the old financial advice speckle?
You got it, bud. Look, everyone out there, just remember that in this wild, wild Web3 world, there are no laws except one. there can be only one, and that is thou shalt not speckle, which of course means this is not financial advice. If you translate it to modern English, that is, thou shalt not speckle. That was handed down from us to us from Lord Satoshi as the one law here is don't take this as financial advice. Thou shalt not speckle. We are not financial advisors. Your bags are in your hands. Do your own research and treat them as such, because we're just talking about cool shit on the interwebs. All right. Thank you very much.
All right. I really quickly want to have a local news update. Levana Protocol tweeting out, do you know you can earn a 62% APR on SEI by providing liquidity on Levana? Also mentioning the spaces that we had with them last week. It looks like they clipped out a few pieces from that episode. So yeah, big shout out to Levana there for giving us a shout out as well. So you shout us out, we'll shout you out back. So big ups to Levana for showing up to Say What, that morning show that we do every morning, covering the Say ecosystem at 11 a.m. Eastern. By the way, Gifted, it's not Gifted chooses Rich, right, on X. It's, although that's a really great double entendre. I don't. You probably thought of that. Like that's where your mind goes. Did you think of that? Did you think it? Be honest.
I mean, come on, bro.
Okay.
Come on.
All right. Well, if you did, that's fucking genius. But anyways, Gifted on Twitter or X, if you want to call it that. So at Gifted, at Biggie Poppins, at Nifty Q. Also with an underscore there with the Q, because somebody else somehow had Nifty Q. But anyways, that's how you find us there. Dayton or DP is joining us here in just a moment. He had a quick call, but let's get to some of this stuff. So, I mean, looking at the overall market, right? I just want to take a look because that is all of this is kind of factoring in right now. Bitcoin did touch 72. It is sitting at 70,700. So back to Biggie's point, if you just stacked BTC in the beginning, you would be sitting fairly pretty. A couple other altcoins are doing well. I want to, kind of zoom out a little bit, maybe to 24 hours. Avalanche is doing extremely well. Injective, Near Protocol. We see some larger protocols here. I'm interested in why Avalanche is moving so heavily. You can see it looks like Floki's a top performer. So meme coin's still kind of there. Thor Chain was brought up by Dayton earlier in the show. Yeah. So I don't know why Avalanche is pumping. I know we did have a Maple Story update that we want to get to, which is on more of the micro front, but we can maybe hit that now.
That's probably it. I think that the game,
so as well.
Really?
Gaming, dude, they haven't had any big announcements.
And not only that, the thread that they wrote about regarding like the DB and the team at AVAX Labs, partnering with them and doing their research to see where they would launch it. I think it's pretty bullish, and coming from a company that way, like, yeah, that helps. That goes a long way, and I think it's something we've been saying from the beginning since Shrapnel, right? Q, and I think you can even see like what's his name, Alex Becker talks a lot about it. Like, I think AVAX is a sleeper that will do really well this cycle, assuming gaming does well, which I think we're all bullish in this channel for, and having Maple just pile in with Avalanche as well, like, it's very bullish.
I would not fade this release if you don't like Maple Store, like the kind of art or whatever that you see here. I think using the Sugartown auras reference here, again, we kind of faded that, but it came from a reputable studio, right? And this is what you're getting with Maple Story. It's a larger team. They've raised a ton of money. They've been around for forever. I don't really think you should fade this whatsoever. This is not financial advice or anything like that. Damn, you guys think that this Maple Story is having that effect, that large of an effect on the ecosystem,
effect, right? Like, I'm not saying it's the sole one, but you keep having AVAX pop up when it comes to the gaming narrative, right? Like, and I know it's not the only game in town. You have Ronin, you have Beam, but AVAX comes up really often, right? And I mean, partner that with a couple of other things. I know, like, they're also doing some stuff with was it decentralized physical infrastructure, DPIN tech, and I think it can perform very well. It's one of those tokens I've always had I've played around with and have my eye on. Also, like 810-7, the gaming the game that I mentioned in our Discord channel, also partnering. It's going to be launching on AVAX. So
Avalanche has been
they're doing
suppressed.
something right in that ecosystem.
It's been underperforming while most other things have been running, and so all it needed was the right announcements and things. And I think
And
that
partners,
they came out very strong with the Maple Story situation to talk about like the why is gaming coming to Avalanche, and that gaming narrative we know is sort of simmering right now. So I just think it's like enough of like, oh yeah, Avalanche is kind of like hasn't been moving. Maybe now's the time to be getting in, and people are starting to feel that it's a good time.
Yeah, you had a take earlier, either earlier this week or late last week, Gif, and I agree with it that gaming's definitely simmering. Like we saw a little spike there at the end of 2023, Q4. And I do think it's kind of simmering right now. There's eventually going to be, because again, that there's a product, right? There's a product related to the digital assets. It's something that's a touch point for someone to touch into. I think that gaming is an easy narrative to get behind.
Did you guys check out Godzilla also?
No, but we're getting that comment here. El Toro saying Maple Story and Godzilla.
Yeah, I think Godzilla might also be launching its own subnet with AVAX. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this, but I almost think it's going to be also with AVAX, and I think this team is freaking stacked, dude. They got Neil Blomkamp doing like all the visuals and the storytelling there, which if you're familiar, he's like one of the best sci-fi, writer directors out there. I checked out some of the videos that he's made on it, and the graphics on this are honestly the best I've seen. Better than Shrapnel, better than Parallel, better than anything. It's out of this world. So I think this can perform very well. And also crypto native. Definitely something to follow.
I'm surprised I haven't heard. I mean, we were pretty heavy into the gaming scene and still are. I'm glad you brought up Parallel as well, because Parallel has done well. I think it'll smash through $40. We were calling that pretty early. I think it almost touched 20 last weekend.
It got up to like 18 or 19.
Yeah, so it'll smash.
Crazy. Y'all, we were talking about Parallel
100.
and Prime at $1.
Yeah, it'll probably go to 100.
Just go back and check the fucking receipts. We were sitting here talking about Parallel running to fucking $80 when it was at $1. Just know that.
Yeah, I should probably continue farming that token via the game.
I know. Me too, bro.
Yeah. I'm surprised, Biggie. I mentioned Parallel because we were on top of a lot of the gaming narrative. I haven't heard of Godzilla games. This is my first hearing about that.
So I've been hearing about it for a little, like with the A107, like it's also like this other channel that I'm in that I know there's a couple of people there that are really big into gaming, and they'll mention stuff every now and then. So I've been tracking it, right? Like A107, I got into like way early last year, been holding that forever. Finally appears it's going to have its day. Godzilla is one of these that has been slowly, like I've just noticed, like creeping up, like from some of these people that I respect. It's like Godzilla. And yeah, I'm paying attention. I think the only thing with me and again, no gamer here, but I try to be one. Got my fucking joystick now finally, so I can play around when the time comes. But there's so many of them. I think that the attrition rate will be high. I definitely think, just based on what I see, that the Shrapnels, Parallels, and like Godzilla style play are like there'll be some big winners there. I also like the casual mobile gaming sector as well. It's just, I think, a matter of like trying to choose a stacked team, good project, hopefully in a good protocol, and pray, dude. Pray that it hits the mainstream, because I think for these things to do really well, you most definitely need outsiders to come in and play. Like it can't be the same people.
No. But that's the whole idea, right? Is that you can point to something that people might actually touch, as opposed to saying, "Oh, come use my decks," or "Come use this." Like, no, it's just a game. But yeah, a lot of great comments coming through. Again, the reason. So let's touch on the BAYC thing, okay? I've been holding BAYC. I'm not going to give you my backstory, but I'm still holding one. I sold one pretty high up there, and and I've been staking the entire time, so the actual coin itself with the staking has done pretty well for me. People have all different situations that they're in. Somebody maybe, I'll give you one example. There's probably somebody that bought a Bored Ape above 100 ETH, and that's the only exposure they had, and they're sitting right now on something that is at 14 or 12 and a half, whatever you sit on right now. So everybody has their own situation. For me, I'm okay right now enough to say I'm going to ride this out. And that team is absolutely gigantic, and they will do fine. Now, the only way that I see BAYC not doing fine is if Ethereum itself doesn't do fine. Does that make sense? Like, BAYC to me is almost like Saiyan's NFTs on SEI. They're the number one collection on the Ethereum chain. And if Ethereum NFTs do well, Bored Ape will do just fine. Now, you can get caught up in your bag buys there, and there could be a Pudgy Penguins that comes in and flies, and Bored Ape kind of doesn't do much. But to me, and just in case, I'll use your comment here, is Bored Apes. Let's see what he said. People love to hate on BAYC, but when you are number one, haters come in numbers and much harder. Okay. So what are we saying here? People love to hate on BAYC, but when you are number one, haters come in numbers and much harder. BAYC has been through a lot. Feel for those diamond handers for sure. That's what I would never have seen Bored Ape at these prices today. Yeah,
right? Like, and people are getting shaken out, right? Whether because they are getting FOMO and they want to sell, they think that there's an opportunity cost. They already kind of a little salty seeing that asset go down. And they look at these meme plays or something else, and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna take my risk over there, and then I'll come by my ape once I do well over there." You're seeing it with Squiggles. Squiggles are getting floored. It's ridiculous. Like, some of the things that have come out, like, just gorgeous, like super grail, like Squiggles going, like, just getting floored. And I think, there's, again, it's conviction moment, it's like, hey, do you think they're going to do well? I feel the same way about Squiggles, Q. It's just a matter of, like, are you going to hold and just wait for that moment to come where you can either turn that like an actual profit or what you had thought about, or are you going to go and play meme coins or ape into the latest PFP or whatever NFT project you're FOMOing over? If that makes me a boomer, I'm happy to fucking be one, dude. It's not gonna do that.
The other part of it right now, like, Q, that, like, you're talking about, there's some people that got in really high that are down bad, and then there's just the opportunity cost in general. And a lot of people are just trying to get liquid right now, and they feel like they're missing out on a bunch of other things that are running while they're not liquid, and they just see their floor prices going down while everybody else is getting out. And that's really difficult. It does, though, back to who was it? Was it Edelson, Mike?
Erlinson, yeah.
Erlinson, who's like looking for the alpha, is like, I do think that you've got to be looking at some of these projects like there's opportunities here, because as everybody's flooring things like Squiggles and Bored Apes and a bunch of these other blue chip, quote unquote, blue chip big ETH projects, you're going to find some deals. And again, like, not financial advice. Maybe it takes a long time, and maybe some of these things go to fucking zero that you never would have expected. Maybe. And there is a world in the future where Squiggles have like a fucking 2 or 3 ETH floor. But I find it hard to believe, so I would bet on the side that Squigs have provenance and will be a very, very important project worth a lot more. So there's probably going to be some really good deals right now for those that have the balls and have the liquidity to be, kind of waiting it out or putting in those high conviction plays on the collections and teams and products and IP that they really fuck with, and the art and artists that they really fuck with.
Did we and I know we wanted to end. I know you want to end the show on time today, Q. But did you all, while I was gone, did you all discuss the K-Roll space yesterday?
Oh, Lord.
I wanted to kind of get Biggie's take on it.
We did not.
I don't want to do that while we're still in this combo. No. I want to stay here. I want to stay here for a second. We already lost Biggie. I want to say here for a second. Also, Cats Fanatic saying Swiper is live, so I need to be tracking that.
Breaking news.
Marty's saying he's not getting into Nick right now. He got out of Nick. Could probably swing trade it, but can't give him attention. I will stay poor. Justin Casey talking about the Kakinu over there on AVAX, which is a meme coin that potentially will do well if AVAX again. It's just leverage plays on these chains. Yeah, man, it's weird to see Bored Ape at these levels. I will condone that. And when people are saying, and they show you the charts of like it hasn't been at these levels, I think you do have to do what GiftEd was saying and look at the USD value. Because the last time Bored Apes were at this prices, I think ETH was sitting around probably 15, maybe not, definitely not past 3K. I don't think. So just make sure you're looking at that. But it's just
still
it's
a
just an
60K
interesting
asset.
Yeah,
it's still a $60,000 asset right now.
Yeah, and it's just a weird thing. I don't think by any means it's going to go to zero. Like if any project that I have conviction on not going to zero, it's fucking Bored Ape. They have so much behind them in every facet of what's happening. It's just crazy that it's gotten to this point. Maybe because of the farmers, maybe it's not what we thought it was when, and it's another good representation of what's in this space. It's not like they say community, but at the end of the day, clearly we don't even have 10,000 people to support that. You know what I mean? And by the way, this is when Machi has his bag. I don't know if he's continuing to buy, but he also has a bag of like $15 million worth of ape. And I've seen a call. I don't know. I got to follow that wallet. I got to see how much he spent. I know he spent 500 ETH on like one fucking ape. So anyways, go ahead, DP.
No, I just, I feel like, I agree with you. I don't think they're going to zero. I don't even think that they are falling out of the elite category, but they need a catalyst though. Like, my only thing is I wonder what the catalyst would be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they've come to that moment, like you see with a lot of popular artists, where they have this whole period where everybody loves them, they're the hottest thing in the market. Then they go through a period where they fall off for a while, and then after a while they come back with this hit record that everybody's on. Now they're back in the spotlight. Bored Ape has to pull off the same feat. I just don't know, and I'm not saying that they won't do it, and I think they will do it. But regardless of how I feel about the project personally, I definitely think they'll do it. I just wonder what the catalyst would be. Because I just think the attention is just so many other places right now. But I think they do have a chance of getting it back. They just have to pull off something big to kind of put them back in the spotlight.
It might be good for them to be out of the spotlight for a little bit, because like we were already saying, when you're number one, everybody's hating on you, and maybe it'll give them a chance to sort of like regroup and again start stacking some wins with a little bit less of that negative attention, because it's just how toxic the space is. I believe that they've gotten more hate than they deserve. But it is what it is, right? It's like they've dealt with it, and they're gonna have to still deal with it. But I agree, they got to reinvent themselves, come back with some big catalysts. The Grailed, to me personally, as somebody who held one, felt a little bit underwhelming, and it took a long time, and that's kind of a not the best story either for how things have been going over there. But that did just reveal. But yeah, man, they're not going anywhere. They're going to do some big things, and can they, get that attention and that cultural vibe? Like, we know that they're focusing back more on the clubhouse. So can they bring it
anything back? Okay, I think there is a conversation to be had around Bored Apes, but I think my more fascinating discussion, more important and just intense convo is what the fuck is going to happen with ETH. That to me feels like the broader, like the more pertinent discussion. Everything on ETH is struggling right now. Almost everything. Like really bad. It's
not great. Yeah, short term it's not great. And look, Dankun's happening tomorrow.
I know, but yeah.
I know. I'm saying that might actually remove even more liquidity from mainnet. So I'm just saying short term for ETH is not looking that great, but that's why it's like the people that have the liquidity and the conviction to be looking for, sniping good deals, long term are probably going to end up in a good spot. But yeah, Wake, there's got to be some things, to your point, Q, that's not just within the Yuga ecosystem. There's got to be some ETH ecosystem narrative shifts as well.
Yeah. To me, it's more about what's happening with Ethereum. If Bored Apes were struggling amongst a broader green movement of Ethereum projects, I would be like, shit, Bored Ape needs to figure out their stuff. Right now, to me, it's more like, what is going to happen with Ethereum right now? It's gone on and it's gone on and it's gone on, and there's no answer. There's no answer. Everyone's just kind of wait and see. The answer almost feels like wait till everybody else gets wrecked and then they'll come back. And it's like, well, like is that it? Is that the answer? I don't know.
Man, desperate times cost the desperate measure.
Marty's saying that the ETH NFT scene is downright scary right now.
It is. You do see a lot of people's thesis being smashed to bits, right? I mean, it's no better place to look at that than the art world. You know, you are seeing, and I'm part of some of like pretty big art collector communities, and you're seeing people's conviction wane or be challenged, and they're kind of trying to figure out whether they made the right call or not, right? I you know, for my end, I still have conviction in that thesis, right? I don't think, you know, you will necessarily see the multiples you might have been expecting, right? Like, and again, it comes back to the competition, and that I think that's only healthy for the space. It's gonna force, like you said, DP, for people to come out with creative, innovative use cases to try to revitalize these projects, right? Like we've talked about, for example, the act of teleburning, right? Which I know with almost certainty that there are people that are going to try to utilize that. Yeah, I know, man. But the people will try to utilize that to revitalize their projects or to recapitalize, whatever you want to call it, right? Like going to a different chain, thinking that that's going to somehow offer a price appreciation, right? And for some things it might, for others it won't. I think that most people, I think the thesis has always been that transacting on ETH will move to almost a halt, and that Ethereum will turn into a security layer, right? Like through Eigen and through other of these restaking protocols that are coming up, and only like big transactions or like more serious transactions will occur on ETH. Now, some of these projects like Basie and like Pudgies will do well in figuring out a way to implement these other L2s that they have accessible to them to do some of their more intricate, say, utility projects that might be developing, right? But I think you're going to have to incorporate that other side if you're going to want to continue to have people transacting on that ecosystem, right? Because if not, then there's another thesis out there, right? Which is high performance blockchains like Solana, like SEI, where the argument there is people only want, you know, the easy use case and low transaction fee, right? Which I think is a very compelling argument, especially for most normies out there that don't study the blockchain trilemma and could care less about security, right? Or sovereignty. And that's just the reality of it. The best tech doesn't always win. But yeah, if I was an Ethereum project right now, I would be looking for ways to try to integrate some of these EVMs into my protocol in novel ways. And that's where the rubber meets the road, because I do think there's been a lack of creativity out there in regards to driving value back into their holders, right? And we're seeing it on SEI right now, right? Like with these meme coins, like some of these are just straight up fucking shit coins, while others are already like postulating on ways how to implement said shit coin into their ecosystem to drive value back to their
all right, while I have Marty McFly here, another question that we're probably not going to get to today, while we're here tomorrow, potentially we'll get to it. Blast, man. What's going on? I feel like that's been the most muted launch that I've seen on the chain, man.
Well, can I
it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks now, or like a week and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
Where you
I
at?
really haven't seen.
Where you at, Pac-Man?
No, I mean, what happened to the Pac Moon token? Like, I don't even think that launched, did it?
I think it's supposed to launch like today or tomorrow. It's supposed to launch soon. Go check their X account because they announced it. But the one thing I wanted to add in here, and I think Blast kind of adds to what I was gonna provide into this. Look, NFTs are kind of scary across the board. So it like say Lami's yesterday, we've had this whole discussion on what's going on with NFTs and the ecosystem on Say. It's not great for projects trying to launch right now. There's not that many collectors there. Say NFTs are just doing okay, but not great. Blast NFTs, not doing that great. Even Solana NFTs, most of them not doing that great. Like I've been holding my Bodagos and they're still down from when I got in a little while ago. So like, I think, we're talking a lot about ETH because we're not used to seeing a lot of these levels for ETH and we're harping on like, ETH is looking rough. But I think NFTs in general are not getting a lot of the attention because meme coins, Bitcoin, ETH, like just liquidity, things running, tokens, that's where the narrative is. Like, so I don't know, when Marty says like, I'm just not even liking NFTs right now, like that to me is sort of a general statement. It's not even just about ETH. ETH is again, is sort of just like Bored Apes was number one and it's easy to shit on number one. ETH is still fucking number one, like almost 2x the volume of ordinals. Even ordinals are down right now. You know what I mean? So it's just like NFTs across the board are not doing that great because there's a lot of other places for people to be trying to get, returns. Everyone wants to be liquid.
Yeah, just in case saying the blast narrative is action will heat up once Pac-Man drops tokens on the farmers in May. Maybe that will be the beginning of the summer boom. Until then, meme it up, baby. Marty saying I'm not going to pursue any blast NFTs or meme coins. I don't think, just staking and farming.
Oh, you're not going to get blast punk, Marty? Right. I would have thought you had looked for your
Here we go. You know what? Let's just leave it. All right. Cats Fanatic saying Q, people are buying up Swiper. My initial airdrop is worth at 1K USD. I'm wondering what that airdrop came from, Cats, because I know they were all over the map with who they dropped it to as well. So yeah, I'm going to be playing.
Cats got into the pre-sale.
Well, so he's talking about airdrop. He's saying my initial airdrop over 1,000. Okay. So that pre-sale might be looking real pretty. I need to hop up after this and do that.
We're
no, I'm not going to dump on you. I promise. I'm holding. Swiper token on Say the FUD Foxes.
Shit, I just looked at my wallet. I don't see mine. Well, maybe I need to go add the contract.
Yeah, you need to do that for sure. But Doggos went to 12 sold today. Yeah, we didn't really even touch on the damn thumbnail. Nick, obviously hopping on to Barstool Sports. He's been basically memeing himself into the vibe. Not today. Not on the show.
Yeah. Didn't what's his name? Portnoy say something make some crazy comment am I gonna buy your project now? And that obviously had gave it a big boost. I don't know. These are short-term pumpamentals to me, let's see how it plays out longer term.
All right, folks, we went for an hour and 7 minutes. Do we have any last DP, I know you had one topic you wanted to cover. What was it again?
Oh yeah, K-Roll space yesterday.
He wants to rub salt on the wound.
The full Moonbird story from start to finish.
Fuck.
I thought he would. The only story I saw was he wasn't paying royalties.
He's leaning into the villain arc now and sort of going out with a big middle finger because everybody treated him poorly because he made a bunch of promises and a lot of people were not happy with what was delivered. And so he decided to not just sell Proof and Moonbirds to Yuga. He then decided to go and floor all of his assets and then hold a space yesterday to again just really lean in. He also burned all of his addresses and shit for anybody.
His whole argument was, listen, I'm not a great founder. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I just I'm just really bad at all of this, but I brought something to the space. We had a project. What the funniest part of that interview was when they brought up him returning funds to the investors, and he kind of swung it over to this whole conversation about how VCs get preferential liquidation, and basically it was a long-winded way of saying listen,
It's not
that
me.
money that y'all talking about, listen, I'm not giving shit back. I mean, it is what it
He
is.
said, "Don't hate the player, hate the game."
Yeah, don't hate the play, hate the game.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing. Do not collect $200. Do not pass go. And you know, we did the thing, baby. And I saw and Yuga, hopefully, and basically this whole thing was hopefully Yuga does something cool with the project. I think they will. You guys are in good hands. So I'm out. I just want to get Biggie's thoughts, like, because I know
Marty
Biggie
McFly
came
deserves
in the
credit.
space.
My thoughts, man. I don't have thoughts anymore.
So he was
Marty
just
got it right.
masquerading. He was just masquerading as like a.
trying to move
Yeah,
on.
he's going for money.
I
He
think-
he came in chasing money. He got money. Now he's done. He's leaving. But Marty called this one.
Bro. That's the thing. Like the fucking ghost of goddamn Christmas past. He keeps haunting the fucking space, going on spaces, and like he's just not. Like he's not. I don't know, man. Like he should not.
Well,
like,
he said he doesn't want to be a founder anymore. He said he wants to now find things
like,
early,
he
and
just
hopefully
do his
you guys
podcast,
can
and that's
find
it.
things early with them.
It's unfortunate, man. It's been fucking wild. It's been a wild ride. I know I speak for the majority of our community. We just want to fucking move on, man. Like we want to move on and whatever dignity and whatever we have left in our community and assets, we want to try to make the best of it, because Proof and a good chunk of Moonbirds is an awesome community. But it doesn't help when this guy keeps popping up and explaining things that just don't like fall on deaf ears, don't help anything. They don't help the community. They don't help the brand. They just stoke the fires of this space that can sometimes be a vindictive, fucking crazy mob. And honestly, like from somebody that's like, I took a hit, you know, and you know what? You don't see me fucking crying. You don't see me. I just want to fucking move on. I like, you know, like I want to focus on the road.
So why
ahead
does he
and-
keep coming back? He's just a
I don't
fucking.
fucking know,
he's just
Q.
fucking manic.
It's fucking mind blowing, dude.
Yeah.
Like, like honestly, like
He's trying to spin
starting on
it
Sunday.
his own way. He's trying to be his own PR, and it's not really helping. But he's trying to spin it. Look, I've said this a million times. I'll say it one more time. A lot of times we get these people that come in chasing money, seeing dollar signs, positioning themselves as the founders. They get put up on a pedestal, and they're so happy to accept all of the accolades when things are good. They'll take all of the money, all of the attention, all of the accolades, all the praise as being the fucking new Jesus, and they're happy to take the fame and attention and money. But then as soon as shit isn't going really well and they have to actually do some community service and figure out how to pivot or do something hard, or all of a sudden people aren't just stroking their egos all day and giving them free money, they fucking crumble, disappear, don't want any part of it. That's what a lot of these types of people are. Is
It just felt like
they are
Proof,
grifters.
It just felt like Proof had like an actual, like not a community of just like people that were there for the money and were gonna FUD you to death. Like Proof felt like it had
There
a
is
lot of
real
high
people.
quality
Proof is not like
individuals.
that.
Just
You
like,
don't see that mostly from Proof. It's Moonbirds where
okay.
you see a lot of like the hate and all that shit, right?
Got
Like from the Proof community, like from the chats and the people that I'm in touch with.
Okay.
All we're focusing on right now is trying to keep us together and figuring out a way to move forward. Because I will say this, like, and I know you've heard me say it many times before, but it's a once in a lifetime type of situation where you get a group of people of that caliber, like really, like just founders, builders, creatives, like in one room. And man, all I can say is it was magical while it lasted, and I will fucking do my best. And I know there's people out there looking at ways as well to keep that going, to figure out a way to not just like stay together like as friends, but like actually make this what it was. And for a start, like Cairo can just be on his way. You know,
exactly.
he already did what he had to do,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Like, I really hope that was the last of the last of the
Mhm.
fucking last goddamn spaces he does ever. You know, by all means, go do your podcast. I'll listen to it. Just please, no more.
He keeps ripping off the
We
Band-Aid.
need
Yeah.
to part ways. And I think it's mind blowing to me that it's like, out of everything that's happened, it's like why?
All right, look, Bitcoin almost hit $72,000 fucking dollars. So there's positives here. I don't know, like I feel like Say What almost ended like this as well. Like there's a lot of positive stuff here happening within even the Ethereum ecosystem. I'm sure there's a lot of shit. So I think there's a lot of drama and stuff. This is crypto. It's been happening since I've gotten in. So yeah, a lot of positives going on too. I think there's some benefits to staying on top of everything. But yeah, man, I just want to not be caught up in this energy. So Biggie,
I agree with
DP,
you,
Gifted, let's go around the circle and then head out. We will be back tomorrow.
Yeah,
per usual.
It's one thing to be an ostrich and put your head down and pretend nothing's happening. It's another thing to dwell on things and hold them close. And it's like what they say, like hate is holding a piece of glass in your fist and hoping that the other fucking person feels pain and suffers. You're only fucking yourself. I'm gonna stay looking at the opportunities, focusing on what I can control, vibing with my community, trying to provide value and get value from it, which I do every day. You guys are fucking awesome, every one of you, including you, Marty, you fucking futter. I love you to death. But I wish you the best, honestly. Like, I wish all of us, like I do want us all to come out of this cycle better, wiser, wealthier than we were before. And that's my focus, man. So the drama, I don't mind talking about it every now and then, but
all right.
You can go by the review mirror. OVOT.
Yeah, OVOT, everybody. I think my overall takeaway is that, in the end, there's room enough for everybody to just bull around, right? Some narratives are going to play out first and some are going to come later. But I do think that, we all will, if you play the cycle right and you stay to your convictions. Some people are convicted, their conviction lies within gambling. That's their culture, that's their religion. And they do it well. I know people that play these meme tokens like none other. Like they could do TA on vibes. They do like vibe TA. I'm horrible at this shit. I choose all the wrong ones, but they choose the right ones, right? So that's their thing. I'm more of a fundamentals guy, and I feel like this cycle, we'll have our day in the sun as well. So don't get discouraged, people. If you see all these meme tokens popping off right now, you will have whatever you're convicted in, and you catch the right projects within that sector or whatever narrative you're into, then you'll profit. You'll come out on the top. So other than that, that's my encouragement for today. Love you all. I look forward to seeing you all on Thursday. OVOT. Look at these.
Yo, OVOT, smash the like for this amazing crew up here, showing up every day in, day out. And we appreciate all of y'all for hanging out with us here on NFT Live. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, do it. We're over 12K. Thank y'all so much. Our Vibe, our tribe. We'll be back tomorrow, fam. Appreciate y'all.